Hi guys! For this week's recipes, I made a cinnamon bread and a mango bread. Let's start with the cinnamon bread. The cinnamon bread, the picture just looked so amazing. And I just thought this is definitely worth a try. It calls for some very basic ingredients: flour, sugar, milk, egg, oil. And it just looked like it would be really interesting to eat, and I thought this one would be worth a go. So let's get started. So we've got the flour and the sugar and the baking powder and the salt and the oil and the milk and the eggs. So these are just the dry ingredients. And next I made a well in the dry ingredients so I could add in all of the liquids. And I love doing the well just because it's a really easy way to slowly mix together the liquids and the dry ingredients. And I also think it's easier to stir it up if you start with a well. You know, just so you don't have a clump of liquids that you're trying to combine with all of the dry ingredients all at once. So I think it just makes the process just a little bit easier, especially if you're mixing by hand. It may not be quite as meaningful if you've got an electric mixer, but when you're doing it by hand, I think making a well just makes it so much easier. And I put down the camera, and I decided just to mix them with two hands. That worked out a little bit better. The bowl was just moving around too much for me. And I've got the sugar and the ground cinnamon. And we're just gonna mix these together in a small bowl. And I'm breaking up the big clumps of sugar. I don't know if your sugar does that too, but every now and then I just get these weird clumps, so you just kind of have to mash them down with a spoon. And we're going to be doing some layers. So this is half of the batter, and then we're pouring in half of the cinnamon. And I thought I could just sprinkle it on and it would be even, but it turned out kind of clumpy in the middle there. So I decided to use a spoon to try to smooth it out a little bit. And now I've got the rest of the batter poured on top of the cinnamon mixture. And now I'm going to put the rest of the cinnamon sugar on the top. And I decided to use a spoon to see if that would make it a little more even. And it is slower with the spoon, but I think it made up for a better layer, so it's a little more even and not just a big clump of cinnamon and sugar in the middle. And then I got impatient and I just decided just to pour it all in. And you're supposed to run a knife through the batter a few times. You're trying to give it that cinnamon swirl kind of look. And you're not supposed to mix it in too well, because if you mix it in too well, then you're not going to have any of the swirl effect. And here's when it's all cooked up. And it's still got tons of sugar on the top, loose sugar on the top. And I don't know if you can see, but a lot of that sugar ended up on my countertop. So next time I'll be a little more cautious about that. And you're supposed to let it cool completely, and then you can drizzle on the glaze. So the glaze is made up of powdered sugar and a tablespoon of milk, a little more than a tablespoon of milk, and some vanilla. And this mixture just mixes together so easily. I think because the powdered sugar is just so light and fluffy, it just so easily mixes in with the wet ingredients. And I was expecting that the glaze was going to be a little bit thicker. I was really surprised. I thought I could pour it on the ends of the bread and have it not drip all over the countertop, because this was quite a mess. I don't know, maybe a little more powdered sugar would make it a little more creamy. It's a little bit thin. And here's when it's all done and cut up. And I need to work on my technique for swirling in the cinnamon. And next up is some mango bread. I just love mangoes. And this was a really interesting recipe because it included some lime juice. And the lime juice and the mango was a really good combination. And for the butter, it needs to be at room temperature. So just put it on the stove. And here's the mango and the lime juice. And when you get all the batter mixed in, then you're putting in the sugar and the butter. The hardest part of this was really just cutting up the mango, which you can get around by just buying some frozen mango, quite honestly. And I just love all the mango in the bread. It looks just so beautiful together. And here's when it's done. It's just really lovely. A good consistency there. And I'm preparing some vegetables to take with me on my lunches. So I selected a rainbow of colors. I think that's the thing when you're eating vegetables, to try to pick a variety of different colors to eat. And I cooked them up with some olive oil and salt and pepper and some oregano. And this is a breakfast with some mango bread. And an apple. And these are 2 croissants. These are store-bought croissants, and an orange. And these are some brownies that are filled with some blueberries and spinach. And here is an apple. And this is some mango bread, topped with some blueberries. And I've also got some grapes. And these are croissants with some strawberries. I always try to make sure I've got some kind of fruit when I'm having breakfast. I feel like that's the easiest way just to make sure I get that fruit in, is to make sure it's there for the breakfast. And here's another breakfast with some croissants and an apple. And here's some lunch. These are some noodles with some vegetables, And I've also got some Brussels sprouts. And this is mac and cheese and an apple. I was expecting lunch to be served at work on that particular day, but mac and cheese works just as great from the break room. And this is a cheese sandwich, and I've got some Brussels sprouts. And this is some leftover potato salad and some Brussels sprouts. And this is a pulled pork sandwich with lots of lettuce and some carrots and celery. I was cleaning out the fridge this week, so whatever there was just a little bit of, that's what went on my plate. And this is another cheese sandwich, and this is a variety of vegetables. These were vegetables that were almost going bad in the refrigerator, so they go in my lunch. And this is some leftover pizza, and I added in some onions, and I've also got some grapes. And these are some cheese tortellinis. These cook up amazingly fast, like 3 minutes. And for topping, I'm putting on some ragu tomato sauce. Super easy when you're tired at the end of the workday and you just don't know what to make. It's just really easy just to pull out some tortellinis from the freezer. And this is a mixture of some eggs and mushrooms, and I've also got some oranges. And this is a chicken salad. I had just a little bit of chicken salad left over in the fridge, so got a lot of lettuce and carrots and celery. And this is another pulled pork sandwich with some lettuce and a bunch of vegetables. And this was kind of a snack night. I've got carrots and celery and oranges and tomatoes, mushrooms, and I even found some wheat thins in the cupboard just to have something crunchy to eat. And I just want to say thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you have a great week.